Hello, good evening, and welcome to News 360 here from the News Hub at Adisawe, Kanda. I'm Natalie Fort.
And my name is Parkwisi Asari. Coming up in the next 60 minutes.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
15-year-old boy killed in renewed shooting at Alavanyo in the Volta region.
Also ahead of the bulletin, political analyst backs NPP's directive to party office holders to double as government appointees to relinquish party positions.
And 17 persons arrested for unauthorized installation and use of siren in their vehicles, contrary to Regulation 7.4 of the Road Traffic Regulations. In business, Ghana Investment Promotion Center to review Investment Act that reserves rights of petty trading and other small-scale businesses to Ghanaians.
And elsewhere on the foreign front, Nigeria's Minister of Women Affairs, Aisha Al-Hassan, says all 103 Chibok girls released from captivity will go back to school in September. We've got details of these stories plus many more coming up in the next 60 minutes. Let's begin with the very first story, where unknown gunmen have attacked residents of Alavanyo, killing a 15-year-old boy with another boy sustaining gunshot wounds on the sides. Well, residents say the attackers stormed the town late Thursday afternoon and opened fire on the children. It's still unclear what has triggered the killing this time. Well, the 15-year-old boy has been identified as Prince Ankuche, whilst Alex Adiku, who sustained side injuries, is receiving treatment at the St. Margaret Marcotte Catholic Hospital in Pando. There is heavy military presence as well as police presence in the conflict-prone town. 3 people died a fortnight ago in the Alavanyo Nkonya area when unknown gunmen shot them. The Interior Minister and other security chiefs visited the area and assured of adequate security measures to forestall peace between the two feuding communities. Well, we're beginning to understand that a combined team of police and military personnel have been keeping the peace in the area. We're going to find out what the latest is in that region. Cosmos Kofi joins me. He's a youth leader in Alavanyo. Cosmos, thank you very much for your time. Can you tell us what's the very latest with this incident?
Thank you too, and you are welcome. This evening about 4 p.m. There is a gunshot at Alavanyo Demi, and two boys were shot. One was injured, and one was gunned down to death. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
You can hear me, okay. So that is what is happening at Alavanyo Demi.
We're told there's currently police and military presence in the area to avoid further conflicts. What's the very latest with that as well?
Come again, please.
We're told there's currently police and military presence in the area to avoid or to forestall further conflict. Can you tell us what's the very latest with that as well?
Yeah, the security agencies are around. They are trying their best for the type of things to stop, but they couldn't find those kind of people. That is why the things still keep on.
Cosmos, I know you're a youth leader in Alavanyo. Are there fears that these actions could lead to further reprisal attacks?
Hello?
Cosmos, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm asking if this particular incident has brought fears amongst residents in the community that this could possibly lead to further reprisal attacks. Well, I'm afraid we lost Cosmos Kofi, that is a youth leader in Alavanyo, bringing us up to speed with latest developments in that area.
Absolutely. But in other stories this evening, some political analysts have backed the New Patriotic Party's directive to party office holders who double as government appointees to relinquish their position immediately. They contend the decision will promote efficiency and reduce friction between government and party officials. Jonathan Adams filed this report.
Party stalwarts attended the 4-hour National Council meeting, which touched on a wide range of issues. The meeting also approved party office holders who have positions in government to give up their party positions. Dr. Seidu Alidu and Dr. Erikodro Osai are political analysts.
I think it's a step in the right direction, aimed at helping the government of the day to be able to function very well so that people can give concentration to the governmental positions that they are holding.
If you are an appointee in a government and you are also a party executive, you are performing two main functions. If you are not very careful, you're going to face the challenge Honorable Otikwa Jaba faced. And you always commingle political party activities with that of government. And once you do that, you cut out a section of the population who doesn't belong to your political party.
Dr. Seidu Alidu, however, cautioned the New Patriotic Party leadership to manage the relationships between government and party officials.
I know regional executives who have been appointed as regional ministers or district chief executives and all those things. All those people are going to leave those particular positions. And how would the party mobilize from the national level to the grassroots level?
Dr. Erikodro Osai, on the other hand, called on political parties to amend their constitution to prevent party members from taking government appointment.
And if possible, the Electoral Commission must also amend its rules to ensure that they can save Ghana by putting it in there that once a political party wins elections, if the government is constituting its team, it should never appoint anybody holding executive position in a political party into government.
The NPP National Council meeting expressed regret about the actions and utterances of the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Otiko Jaba, and the Northern Regional Chairman, Bugui Nabu. Even though the two apologized profusely, the meeting severely reprimanded them and bonded them to be of good behavior.
They've made serious allegations or accusations and then counter accusations that require some level of investigations.
The National Council meeting also resolved that Otiko Jaba and Bugui Nabu should put their apologies in written statements.
Supreme Court Judge Justice Jones Doche has described as scandalous for a person to be on remand for 11 years and more without trial. While at a symposium in Accra, he described as cruel for an accused person to be unjustifiably denied bail.
In Ghana, one of the major human rights abuses is said to be the treatment of remand prisoners. In waiting for trial, many accused persons have been held in prison on a expired warrant of commitment. As at May 8 this year, the total population of prisoners in the country was 13,164, out of which 11,201 are convicts, 1,637 are on remand, with trial prisoners totaling 226. This means out of the 1,637 remand prisoners, 226 are sent to court by prison officers for trials in the various courts. At a symposium organized by Help Law Ghana in concert with Osiwa at the Gimpa Faculty of Law in Accra, Supreme Court Judge Justice Jones Doche was livid at some infractions.
A cruel remand system where bail is unjustifiably denied accused persons. Isn't it an indictment of our criminal justice system that an accused for robbery has been made to spend 11 years on remand without being tried?
Justice Doche said he stands for the advocacy for the removal of the death sentence and a reform of the jury system of trial in the criminal justice system.
Many of the establishments who are eligible for jury service send their lazy, incompetent, illiterate, and never do well to serve as jurors.
He also suggested legislative reforms in the punishment regime and broadening, which include probation or community sentence.
Despite efforts by the judiciary as an institution, coupled with the recent decision in Martin Kpebu and Attorney General the issue of grant of bail in the criminal justice system, which should have been sanitized and brought under decent control, still remains a mirage and threatens to destroy the criminal justice system.
You're still watching News 360 live from our news hub here in Accra. You can be a part of this bulletin by sharing with us your views, comments, and suggestions on any of our top stories this hour. Visit any of our social media pages and share a comment or two with us. And to another of our trending stories tonight is about who becomes the next the next Chief Justice. That's topmost on the minds of most Ghanaians today. It's been a topical issue all day throughout. And there are three names that are coming up. And these names are Sophia Akufu, Justice Enimyeboah, and Justice Doche. And I'm going to just run you through a profile of these three contenders for the position of a Chief Justice. And I'll start off with Justice A.B., that's Sophia Akufu. I'll tell you who she is. Now, Justice Sophia Akufu is a judge of the Supreme Court of Ghana. She's been the judge for the past 2 decades. She trained under Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, had a master's in law from the Harvard University in the United States. She did a presentation to the African Judicial Network in 2002. This was about the application of information and communication technology in the judicial process. And that's Justice Sophia Akufu there. Okay, so, right. She's also one of the, in one of her very famous cases is when she presided over the Muntie 3, and I'm sure you're quite mindful of that in 2016. She's also senior to the other two contenders who I'll be bringing very shortly to your notice. One of them is Justice Enimyeboah. Now, Justice Enimyeboah was appointed to the Supreme Court on June 11, 2008. He's a lecturer in civil procedure at the Ghana School of Law. He serves on the adjudicatory chamber of the FIFA Ethics Committee, an appointment that will last for 4 years. He also served on various judicial bodies in the GFA, including the Disciplinary Committee and the Appeals Committee. He's also served on the Appeals Committee of the Confederation of African Football. Now, quickly to the very final person who is also in pole position to possibly be named as Supreme Court, as Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, and that's Justice Victor Jones Mawulom Doche. Now, Justice Doche was elevated to the Supreme Court's bench on June 11, 2008. He served a period of 23 years at the bar prior to being appointed a High Court judge in June 2002. He was called to the Ghana bar in November 1978, and he was appointed as Chief of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Gambia in February 2008. And so these are the three contenders, three names that have come up so far in contention to be named as the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. We'll see who the President comes up with in consultation with the Judicial Council, and finally name is likely to be will be submitted to Parliament.
In other stories this evening, a total of 17 persons have been arrested for unauthorized installation and use of sirens in their vehicles, contrary to Regulation 7.4 of the Road Traffic Regulations. This followed on an April 6, 2017 ban on abuse of the emergency siren system in the country.
Regulation 74 subsection 2 of LI 2180 provides a person shall not fit on a motor vehicle a warning appliance other than a type approved by the Licensing Authority DVLA. The law is therefore clear on who can install and use motor vehicle warning appliance, including bells and sirens, in their vehicles. These are government vehicles used for official purposes by the head of state, a police vehicle, and a motor vehicle used by the fire service, an ambulance by hospital or clinic, other recognized government security agencies, and a bullion vehicle registered by the Licensing Authority. However, the unauthorized installation and use of horns and sirens as regulated by Regulation 74 of the LI 2180 was rife recently, prompting a ban on the practice effective April 15. The ban appears to have impacted positively, resulting in great reduction in the abuse. But the police say some arrests were also made during the period.
17 people were arrested. After the arrest, these sirens and horns were dismantled from their vehicles. And then after that, they were issued with warning signs to go and sin no more.
Staff officer at the National MTTD, DSP Emmanuel Dubois, warned of punitive measures against offenders.
This time, if you are arrested, I don't think there is any mercy for any cripple. What we do is that we process you and then we send you to court, and the court will determine your fate.
He urged the public to record unauthorized vehicles using siren and send videos via WhatsApp to 0244 236 198 or 020 3317 870 to assist in the fight against the abuse.
We are pleading with the general public, whether you are a pedestrian, whether you are a driver, whether you are a car owner, whoever you are, and wherever you may be, at what time, we are pleading that the road safety issue is a concern now. So it means that we all have to come together and fight it well.
You're still watching News 360 live from my news hub here in Accra. Now, the role of a member of parliament is involving, but ever thought about what an MP does outside the chamber? Well, my colleague Evelyn Tingma in the following report has been looking at what the MP does when the House is on break.
In the legislature, members of parliament are engaged in a barrage of activities, making laws, attending committee meetings and bringing to the fore the concerns of their constituents. Issues of national interest are also brought to the Speaker's attention by MPs for prompt action. The normal sitting days for MPs in Ghana are for some 4 hours, but depending on the workload of the House, members are made to sit for extended periods. During these times, the MPs hardly visit their constituencies. When the House goes on break, one would expect them to take a rest. But is that the case?
On recess, we will have to go around and then brief your constituent what actually happened in Parliament or what is happening in government, so that they will also be abreast with the new challenges that we have. You have to be more visible in the community for them to see you.
Normally, when Parliament is on recess, what I do is to interact with my constituents, listen to their views, find out their problems, and try to make sure that as and when I can respond to them, I do respond to them.
According to the MPs, they usually have to organize derbers, town hall meetings, wards and branch visits, and also engage constituents one-on-one to explain bills that have been passed by Parliament.
A week ago, I had a town hall meeting titled Meet Your Constituents, where I gave them the situations report. My government is not in power, and the people of Ashama understand that particular situation, that maybe whatever I promised to do for them, I may not be able to do it to the fullest.
At Tema Central, the MP, Kofi Brako, had organized a meeting with the constituents, basically to listen to their concerns. These include the challenges facing the sewage system and the road network.
The central sewage system now is virtually broken down. So that is one major important thing that I'm trying to address. I'm trying to propose to the Assembly to make sure that at least a whole complete rehab of the Tema sewage system is done.
We know the primary role of the Member of Parliament is to make laws. But in recent times, there are lots of pressures on the Member of Parliament to undertake certain projects and certain initiatives. But one will argue that it is not the fault of the constituent, but the MPs themselves, because during electioneering campaign, they promise the people heaven and earth. There is no doubt that the work of MPs is growing in both scope and function as democracy deepens and constituents hold them to ransom for development. They would also demand results, and if these promises are not fulfilled, it will only take another election to show their disapproval. This situation is indicative the Ghanaian voter is becoming sophisticated and MPs are becoming overwhelmed by the volume of work. Evelyn Tingma, TV3 News, Accra.
And the Civil and Local Government Association, CLOGSAG, has called on the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament to probe and prosecute persons who misled government to embark on SNIT biometric registration exercise. Addressing a news conference in Accra, CLOGSAG is of the view those civil servants are engaged in scams and fraudulent activities aimed at duping the state.
The association recalled government's decision in the 90s to deal with ghost names in the public and civil service. It mentioned the Integrated Payment System IPPD-1 and IPPD-3 to check ghost names, which were successfully done. However, in 2014, government again introduced an Electronic Payment System voucher ESPV to also deal with ghost names. Again, the association indicated every month management heads also validate the names of their staff before they are paid. According to CLOGSAG, all these interventions were able to clean the payroll, which reduced government wage bill. But it was surprised that another registration exercise, SNIT biometric, has also been introduced to check ghost names. CLOGSAG is requesting government to be vigilant about some civil servants who are misleading them.
The Ghana government itself initiated a biometric center at Ministry of Finance. We all went for our bio data to be taken. What has happened to that exercise? When we sit down here and we realize that all these are scams just to milk the government.
Its Executive Secretary Isaac Bampo Addo said most of those whose names have been deleted as ghost names are still working.
The SNIT biometric that was undertaken, the mobile team, we house one of the teams in our premises. We gave them free accommodation. So we were one of the first people that registered. But the system is saying that our names cannot be found there. And therefore, we are ghosts. We don't look like ghosts. So these are the payroll games that we are talking about. It is a scam. This is 419.
The association has implored the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament to investigate those who caused the ghost names in the system.
Our first point of call is to call on the Parliamentary Accounts Committee to cause an investigation into these issues.
Now, after his below-par performance at the 2016 general elections, Ivor Kobina Greenstreet appears to have found a new love in sports. The almond fruit lover came close to nature in faraway Bahamas in the midst of untamed sharks ready to devour any prey at the least provocation.
Scuba diving may be Ivor's favorite sport if he is unperturbed about the scare he received from the hungry sharks in the belly of the ocean. The former member of the Ghana National Rifle Association and the 2015 Para Grand Prix competitor is not letting go his love for dangerous sports. While assisting a friend in elections in the Bahamas, Ivor Greenstreet took a chance at scuba diving in the parts of the ocean only the brave will dare. In a post, the former presidential candidate wrote, he had a blast, a clear indication he loved the sport. Ivor's diving did not come without some scary moments though. He posted, I ended up in a shark, crazy Jesus. They had to feed the shark dead fish to divert attention and get me out. Scuba diving is very great and I made it out to tell the story to you. Ivor Greenstreet clearly came close to being eaten by fishes with sharp teeth and not babies with sharp teeth, as was the case in 2016 when he admonished party faithful at a rally. The Bahamas may provide an opportune tourist site for diving to earn some money, but certainly Ghana is blessed with a large ocean that can support scuba diving. But will Ivor Greenstreet and many scuba divers be able to dive in Ghanaian waters? Need I say more? Thomas Adotai Papo, TV3.
Certainly a very bold hobby there by CPP's Ivor Greenstreet. You're still watching News 360. A weather warning that has come by this evening. A moderate rainstorm observed over southern Togo is expected to affect some parts of the country, mainly Volta, Eastern, Ashanti, Bono Ahafo and Western regions, with thunderstorms this evening around 10 p.m. And now to the summary. The northern half of the country is expected to experience cloudy conditions with relatively cool temperatures tonight. The southern half is expected to experience scattered cases of thunderstorms and rain this evening, especially over the forest areas and high grounds. Partly cloudy conditions are also expected over the entire country. Later this evening, thunderstorms and rain are expected over places in the southern half of the country. So that's a weather warning for you here on News 360. Remember, this bulletin is streaming live on News on TV3 on Facebook, as well as GhanaWeb.com. And now let's take a look at how the weather will be faring this evening through till tomorrow. This is News 360, streaming live on News on TV3 on Facebook, on GhanaWeb.com as well. Return with the very latest from the world of business shortly. Stay with us.
Time for business now on News 360. Good evening and thanks for staying with us. My name is Nanikia Mensah-Brampa. Let's start with issues on investment. As the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GIPC, says it is engaging stakeholders as part of efforts to review the Investment Act that reserves petty trading and other small-scale businesses for Ghanaians. The center is also examining the impact of the last review some 4 years ago and will make further recommendations, including the review of the minimum capital requirement for investments.
The GIPC Act reserves certain enterprises for Ghanaians. These are the sale of anything in a market, petty trading, hawking or selling from a kiosk. Others include operation of taxi service and car hiring services, all aspects of pool betting business and lotteries except football pools, and the operation of beauty salons and barbering shops. The GIPC says it plans to review this portion of the Act because it limits the ambition of Ghanaians.
We want to create high-value jobs for our people. I don't think that it's a sense of pride to say we limit certain areas for our people. We want to open up our economy for our people as well.
The regulatory regime for investments in Ghana was last reviewed in 2013, resulting in the GIPC Act 865. Under the GIPC Act, the minimum capital required for retail business is from $300,000 to $1 million. Foreign investors who participate in joint venture enterprises have to show a minimum capital of $200,000, while wholly owned foreign enterprises show a minimum capital of $500,000. According to the CEO of GIPC, Yofi Grant, this will also be reviewed.
It has a reason for being there, but is that reason still pretty valid? Has it been helpful in getting our companies to grow up? From the literature and the research we are doing, it's not. So maybe we need to look at that law.
The GIPC, as part of its stakeholder engagement program, met with diplomats and high commissioners at its Economic Councillors Dialogue to get feedback on the investment climate in the country.
Now, the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, has appointed acting chairman of the NPP, Freddie Blay, as the board chairman of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC. He takes over from Felix Addo. And the president has also appointed 6 others as members of the GNPC board. They are Dr. KK Sapong, who is the chief executive of the corporation, Mr. Kwabena Kwache, Professor Ines Nabila, Mr. Yauchi, Nana Joa Hackman and Ajo Yao Jibi II. A memo dated May 3 and signed by the Chief of Staff, Akosi Afrima Osei Opare, requested the Minister of Energy to take necessary steps to swear the above-mentioned members of the Board of Directors into office. A copy of the memo was received at the GNPC on May 11, 2017. Now to the telecommunications sector. Vodafone Ghana has launched an all-new experience to provide inclusive communication solutions to customers. The Vodafone Supercare experience is to enable persons with speech and hearing impairment communicate via video calls with ease.
The Vodafone Supercare experience provides a comprehensive package for speech and hearing impaired individuals. With the quest of getting everyone on board its innovative train, Vodafone provides specialized customer service centers to cater for persons who communicate through sign language. Persons with speech and hearing impairment can now interact with friends and family via video calls with just a minimum of 50 pesos a day, and also interact with customer service persons equipped with knowledge in sign language via video calls. Director of Fixed Business and Customer Operations at Vodafone, Patricia Obonai, noted the Supercare experience is geared towards getting all customers to be part of the company's digital evolution theme.
We've realized that we have a percentage of our customers who are not able to contact us when they have issues. They have to go through their friends and family to be able to reach us. And that's why we decided to come up with something that is comprehensive, not just a customer care solution, but even the bundles that they use have to be looked at.
The Deputy Minister for Communication, Vincent Suwa-Odute, emphasized the need to ensure equality among all persons regardless of their challenges.
This piece of innovation and creativity on the part should hopefully begin a revolution across the country. We need to start thinking deeply about the needs of the marginalized in society. Private and public institutions must come together in a concerted way to profile solutions to this predicament.
He commended Vodafone for the Supercare initiative, pledging government support for speech and hearing impaired persons. National President of the Ghana National Association of the Deaf, Emmanuel Sak, expressed gratitude to Vodafone for creating an avenue for deaf people to connect with family and friends. Persons with speech and hearing impairment can visit various Vodafone district offices for a specialized SIM card at no cost.
Remember, there's more news on our website. It's 3news.com. My name is Nanikia Mensah-Brampa. We have more on News 360. Stay.